Okay, so my video is doing, or my camera is doing its great cutting me off thing, which I don't understand, and I have to get fixed because it's really, really pissing me off. But this is part three of my. I'm doing a series of videos on Wonder Woman, the underappreciated superheroine, as a response to Milena and I keep forgetting Ziploc great video, which you should watch. They're both really, really cool videos, very interesting responses to each other and to the legacy of Wonder Woman. But anyway, I've done the thematic thing on the themes underlying Wonder Woman, and the theme of feminism underlying Wonder Woman, and I just wanted to just talk about, like, what is the fear here? What problem do DC writers have with depicting Wonder Woman as a feminist? And perhaps it isn't like the struggle that they have with depicting her that way, and perhaps not respecting her philosophy, is a problem with themselves as opposed to a problem with the character, inherent in the character. Um, so I've dealt with that, and onto the fun bit. I want to go into Wonder Woman's Rogues Gallery. Now, one of the things Melina said in her video, which I found really interesting, and I kind of agree and disagree with it, is that Wonder Woman doesn't have the best rogues gallery, and she complained that writers haven't written great rogues for Wonder Woman. Now, where I agree with her, and especially on one point, is that Cheetah is seen as Wonder Woman's arch nemesis. Now, for me, an arch nemesis has to represent a real psychological threat to the titular hero. They have to represent an absolute contrast to the kind of ideological or psychological beliefs of that character, and they have to send that character on that kind of ride of doubting themselves, and then finally seeing that their ideas were always right in the first place. Now, you go back in the history, you can see, like, that is the kind of thing that Dr. Moriarty, or Professor Moriarty, does for Sherlock Holmes, that Lex Luthor does for Superman, that the Joker does for Batman. So I'm going to go into that just a tiny bit later, but let me just, because this is really an intro to my next video on her rogues gallery, just to complete things. So what I will say about Wonder Woman's rogues gallery is, by and large, her villains aren't very good. Okay? But in her defense, 99% of superheroes, even like someone like my favorite superhero, the Hulk, even someone who's a smash hit at the moment like Iron Man, 99% of superheroes do not have a good rogues gallery. And in fact, I would venture as far as to say that Wonder Woman has a superior rogues gallery to Iron Man. She has a superior rogues gallery to the Hulk, who is my favorite character of all time, and I will freely admit that. She has a superior rogues gallery to him. Okay? So there are the Batmans and there are the Daredevils of the world, where they have, like, so many great iconic bad guys. It's almost to the extent that you feel like they have almost more than one arch villain. There's like they've got like 10 of them. Like the Riddler could be a good candidate for a Batman arch villain. I mean, just as easily as the Joker. Just because they're that great. The concept is basic and it's just interesting. So there are those superheroes who have like a vast amount of like Spawn as well, have a vast amount of great villains, um, or a vast cast of great villains. And then there are the other side, which is like Superman. Um, he for me is the best representation of this, where they are so powerful that it's hard to really get a great foil for them, and Wonder Woman is along that spectrum. And because of their power levels, the list of great villains diminishes. However, nonetheless, still they have amongst a list of very, very bad villains, some very, very iconic villains that are really, really worth fleshing out. Now, with Superman, for some reason, DC has this massive hard-on for him because, like, there's been a load and load of hate about Superman being a Boy Scout and, whatever, and he's really fallen out of favor, especially in the 90s, but the DC's dick was like completely wet for him or whatever, and they've done so much. They've run a mile and a half. They've done a marathon run to make this guy relevant and cool again. Why they haven't done this for Wonder Woman as well is beyond me. And one of the things they've done to make Superman so relevant again is flesh him out as psychologically and explore the mythology underlying him and flesh it out. And they've also very much improved, added to his rogues gallery, but also fleshed out his central rogues. So Superman, much like Wonder Woman, not many great villains, but the ones that are good are absolutely amazing and are up there with the Joker and up there, with the Riddler or Kingpin or any of those kind of villains. So Wonder Woman has a rogues gallery very, very much like that, very much along those lines. In the next video, I'm going to mention some of them and do a little, explanation to give you why I think they are so good. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that Milena is right. I also think that, she made a very, very good point about Cheetah being the representation of Wonder Woman's rogues gallery. Cheetah should not be the poster child of Wonder Woman's rogues gallery. I think she's wrong that Cheetah's a bad villain. Cheetah's actually a very good villain, but she's certainly not the kind of threat. It doesn't match. It doesn't match the way the Red Skull and Captain America does, or Lex Luthor and Superman. So she needs that needs to be changed and addressed, because that's the wrong arch villain. She should be a secondary villain. But anyway, we will look at the top 10 villains of Wonder Woman in the next video.